Ever had this? Fucking awesome. Well, I don't ever eat Starburst because I choke on it.
Yeah, we'll put the Starburst now. I know you're allowed to.
This is one of the main hand shields that you usually use. And these are simply for being able to cut edges so you can scrape off of it. So you make it look like it's
Looks like a demon skull.
drop shadows with hard edges. Allows you to do faces and everything a lot easier. But these are worth their weight in gold. These things are only about 24 bucks, which seems like a lot for a piece of plastic. But I probably made $5 grand off that one little thing just working with it. And we just passed away. But
Who was it?
Michael Valley,
Oh, yeah.
guy I wish I'd been able to meet in my lifetime, but unfortunately passed away.
Oh, cool.
That was a huge loss.
He just finished that flame premium.
He's really good.
What you use them for, just dig crate. And what's crazy is these got all these different curves and circles and everything on them. With the kit, you've got like 5 of these big versions, and then you've got small, 4 or 5 of the small versions are very similar to that. Then you're working on a semi or a car or something like that. These larger ones can go to larger spaces a lot easier. The most of them, you do them on a white surface like this. Doing fire is a real chore because a lot of times you'll do it and then you'll blend in candy over top of it to give fire the life that you want it to have. Over white, you have to actually follow what you have with the candy to get it laid on there and get it laid on there properly. If I'm doing it over black, then I do it over black, then this will all be white, and then if I want to throw candy, I just throw candy. I don't give a frag where it goes, because once the candy goes over the black, it disappears. So I can just sit there and spray candy all over the place through here, and the only thing you see it's over the fire itself.
So darker colors are naturally easier to do?
Black itself is the easiest. Other ones, like I said, like white, lighter colors, get on like a blue car. You get on a blue car, you have to, the same thing, you have to play where your candies have to stay inside your parameters of your fire. You can't get outside of it because the candy will show up outside of it. So, but with candy is what brings these fire jobs out because it's such a rich color. I can use standard colors, metallics and stuff like that, which I've done before because some people don't want certain shades, certain ways they want fire done. So you can play around with how you do it, but candy itself is what really brings them to life. This is one of my nicest airbrushes. This is about a $400 airbrush. It's got its own valve here that I can control the air by, turn it way down, way up. I run my airbrushes without the air cap over it because it allows me to get closer to the object. I get closer to the object and I can actually make tighter, finer lines. You hang back from it, you get a nice shadow line. If you get control over it and understand it, you can run extremely fine lines with it. You can draw hairs. But that's the biggest thing with one of these, and it's the hardest thing to do with one of these, is control it. Anybody want to try it? Well, you ain't gonna hurt it, but you could. Double action airbrush. Push down, you got it.
Straight line.
I have trouble drawing a straight line, but that's what the rule is. But the other thing is too, is when you're doing this, you don't really a lot of times don't want to push away from yourself, you want to pull back. But when you get these, you'll get either videos or demonstrations with it where they tell you, they want you to do lines, and they want you to do dots, which is annoying as hell. I did it for like 5 minutes, got fed up with it, threw it aside, and I just went ahead and did an image. Because everything you're trying to figure out and learn, you're going to learn doing an image. You'll have lines, what they call dagger strokes, which is a stroke where it comes out and finishes out in a spike. You'll learn how to not stop and start in the wrong places, be able to put lines, everything where you want. And then it just depends on how detailed or how not detailed you want to go with it. You can do, portraits. You can do everything. You can actually go to make it look full real and realistic if you want to. I've got some stuff on my phone I can show you guys.
Like kind of like tattoo. It reminds me a lot of tattooing.
Kind of with it, but then you gotta go back through and get everything filled up the way you want it and stuff. And you wind up with a fuzzy edge around everything where if you use a stencil, you can get nice, crisp, clean edges throughout the entire thing and it just makes it look more professional. That's what I'm going to do with a saying on the back of the tailgate, and I'm going to do vinyl cut the whole thing when I do it. Now I'm going to do drips. I'm going to 3-tone that. I'm going to do a blue-green flip-flop on the top of the body line up. The second body line down, I'm going to do a purple-blue flip-flop from there down. But the blue-green, I'm going to make it look like it's actually dripping down the side of the truck.
I like this.
But they can do it where you got the big drip coming down and get it painted out to where you can actually create highlights. Highlight those shadows, trying to make it look like it's actually dripping down the side of the truck.
Amazing. That's cool.
It's all, you can airbrush and you can do stuff, and there's also, you have to have somewhat of an artist background.
Yeah,
I've been able to draw since I was 9. I started drawing when I was 9.
right.
And kind of pigeonholed myself in time. The first thing I sat down and drew was this is a collar. Then you can come back through with whites and create highlights into it and really give it a 3-dimensional feel to it. But that's what I like about airbrush, which annoys people that can't control it. I like how you can sit here and do these soft shadows, and then you go in and run these real tight lines and do all this detail and everything. You can do whatever you want with it, and it's fast.
Without having to change.
Without having to change. The Joker on my tailgate's 3 hours worth. That's all it took me.
With all those colors.
All those colors. The dog on the hood took me an hour.
Wow.
That was in a hood. So these are, anybody else want to try it? No?
So I got a good hand?
Come on. I don't care.
Bet.
And what you do is pick out where you want your shadows at as you spray. Like your little eyes. And that's what, I'll have you do this, I guess. A lot of times I've got a collar airbrush that will have multiple colors in it, whatever I'm trying to run through it. I've got a strictly white airbrush, so I don't have any kind of cross-contamination with my white. It's white, and this is my black. But if I go somewhere and I'm working, 9 times out of 10 I'll only take my white and my black with me. I'll dump the black out, wipe the cup out, dump the collar in and blow it till I make sure I got pure collar, and I'll go. And then I'll just flip collars that way from there and just wipe the cup out.
So you don't have all that time?
No,
like
no. One guy did show me, which I haven't ordered it yet, but he showed me